I'm Prince A-tone Bishop, and y'all know
I'm Machie Jones.
And this is another episode of TourNation TalkBack. So here's the thing. The next event that we have, January 5th, this event is going to be an event that's dedicated to, or our theme is the art of commitment. And we really wanted to make this about, committing to oneself. And before we really even get to that discussion, let me kind of talk about the reason why we worded it as the art of commitment. We have poets, we have singers, we have dancers, so many people that do different things, media arts, all these things that's going on. But we don't want to forget that we are still human beings. So we still have lives and things that we're dealing with. So we need to perform other arts as well. For somebody, it might be the art of motherhood. It might be the art of having faith, or the art of loving unconditionally, whatever the case may be. So this particular theme is the art of committing. And there's so many different things that you can commit to and that I can commit to. But I guess one of the controversial things that's been kind of like a controversy thing for me is, there are folk who feel that how can I help my community if I don't first help myself? And then there are other folk who feel like I can't really, I'm no help to myself if my focus isn't first my community. So, I mean, what about you and committing to yourself, or what's on your heart, Machie, about that?
I definitely think that focusing on self can kind of sort of hinder you, but it could also help you too. For so long, let's see, I've been out on my own from the time I was 17 years old until now, and I'm 30 years old now, and I've managed to keep a roof over my head for this long, from 17 to 30 years old. And in the process of doing that, I kind of sort of shut people out. I had to, I felt the need to only be committed and focused on myself. I felt like dependent and relying on someone else could kind of sort of set me back, just from my history, just from being a person who have lived in shelters and been without a home, and, and things like that. So in the process of being out on my own at 17 years old, I had this thought where I'm never going to wind up in a shelter again. So I'm not going to depend on anyone to keep a roof over my head. I'm going to make sure I do any and everything I have to do to keep a roof over me and my child's head. And, it's kept me for so long. But nowadays, I'm in the process where it's I need people. I want to grow, and I can't grow alone. For so long, I felt like I've been doing good. I've been growing all by myself. But now it's okay, I have to do different. What could I do different?
Well, definitely. Well, let me say this. I understand that we live in a world, in a society where we have to, in a sense, look out for self in a lot of cases, but I think there's a big difference between having to look out for self and then just choosing to look out for self. Well, I was having a conversation with another TourNation representative, Mel Carell, and me and her was having a conversation about, what is the difference between selfish and self-centered? Now, I really haven't given that a lot of thought about what's the difference, between selfish and self-centered. But one of the things that I said was, if being selfish to me suggests that not only do you look out for self, but that also means that you want what's best for you in all cases. I mean, you think about it, nobody that I know anyway, intentionally puts themselves in a position to lose. Everybody wants to be in a position where they win. So I learned that as smart as people say that I am, as much intellect as people say that I have, and if I give into that, of course I would be cocky. But one of the things that I realized that my smarts is really wisdom that comes from God, right? So in this relationship that I built with God, what I've had to learn is I am not secure no matter what I do. I can go own a Fortune 500 company. I can own $1 billion business, but I'm not secure unless there's shared prosperity, in what I'm doing. I can't just focus only on me, focus only on myself. I mean, people can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can do what y'all want to do. But as for me in my house, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have something that I built with people, with my community. You can't talk about unity. You can't talk about community. I mean, you can do what you want to do, you know, but can't talk about, it's not right to talk about peace and love, but your means of arrival to that goal is different than the goal. So if you want peace, then the means of arrival to peace ought to be peace. If you want unity, then the means of arrival to unity has to also be unity. So with the whole being in the world thing, my whole point, what I was trying to say is I understand having to been in a shelter. I know what that's like. I've slept on bus shelters. I've been in a city in Green Bay by myself, stranded, had family that was up there with me. Crazy situation when we all went to jail. We got up there a day later, we was in jail. When everybody got out, everybody else had a way home, and I was stuck by myself. So I know what that's like to really be by myself. So you're gonna have those situations, but my point is, when you become aware that there's a purpose in your life and that there's more to you than what people see, then at some point you got to make a conscious decision to say, I can be in the world, but it doesn't necessarily mean I have to be of the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the world may be selfish. That don't necessarily mean I have to be selfish, you know, and we've been trained to think like that. It's about me, it's about me, it's about me. So we are talking about committing to yourself, but what I'm saying is if you were really committed to yourself, then you will want what's best for you. You will want to win. And the best way to win is to win with a team, which opens up another can of worms, because now you got to figure out who the right team is, you know.
But my mother was a single mother in the shelter, and I vowed to myself never to put my children in that situation, which led me to, you know, have this sort of selfishness where I just didn't allow any relationship to come in and break that bond that I had with myself to succeed. And in the process, I didn't succeed at everything in every relationship because I didn't allow someone else to, you know, put forth their effort and to, you know, just help out with things that need to be helped out with. So, today I'm trying to find that strength and find that just allow someone to come in, whether it be in business, friendships, relationships, just come in and be them and, you know, build together and know that in order to grow, you know, you need someone to grow with. Like, a business cannot be successful with just one person. A relationship cannot be successful with only one person. You know, a family cannot be successful when it's only just one person being active in the family or whatever. So today, I'm really working towards everything that you just said. That was just such a valid point and a valid statement of being, you know, committed to yourself by also helping others, not just being so selfish and so closed in, but, you know, yeah.
Right. I mean, I definitely believe that you do have to guard your heart. That's so powerful, especially when I talk about helping out the community and being a part of the community. In doing that, you do have to guard your heart, because you're going to run into experiences where people are going to fail you. They're going to misuse you. They're going to, you know, lose your trust, and there will be experiences that can cause a person to feel like, dude, I was just better off just focusing on me, just doing me. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's important to make sure that you're guarding your heart. But you're definitely going to need to drive. Anybody need that drive, because at the end of the day, you know, we could talk about community as I was talking about earlier, but at the end of the day, when you stand before God, or even when if you're CEO of something, if you're the CEO of your life and you look at the books, it's good that you was able to delegate. It's good that there's shared prosperity. It's good that you had all of these different departments and extensions, even in family. If you got your mother doing this for you, your cousins doing this for you, whatever, all of that's good. But at the end of the day, you have to look at the reports, I guess, and you'd have to be able to say, this is why this didn't happen, this is why that didn't happen, you know. And it's not about what so-and-so didn't do. It's not about my wife, she dropped the ball, my husband dropped the ball, my cousin dropped the ball, my whatever, you know what I'm saying, my friend dropped the ball. At the end of the day, It is your responsibility, and when you stand before God, God don't want to know if, you know, when God talks to A-tone, I can't be like, well, because Machie didn't show up to the show. You know what I'm saying? Or Machie, and God is like, well, A-tone, why you didn't do this? Or so-and-so didn't do this. And he's like, well, I'm not talking about so-and-so. You know, I'm going to deal with so-and-so when I get to so-and-so, but right now I'm dealing with A-tone. You know what I mean? So there is, you do have to have that drive and that go get it, no matter who you have access to, no matter who's in your space. But the key is not to get so caught up in having to be like that, because we've been trained to be like that by the world or by our experiences. Don't get caught up in that. Guard your heart so that when somebody comes in, or when God sends somebody into your life, that you're open to receive that person or receive those opportunities to grow with someone.
Exactly. But, you know, just speaking on we've been trained that way, that is so valid, because when you look at TV, when you look at Oprah, when you look at Ellen, when you look at all of these celebrities on TV, the only thing you see is them. You know, you don't see the team of people behind them that has helped to make Oprah who she is or make Ellen who she is. There, you know, people have a whole team of people, but we have been trained and programmed to think that you're it. You're the one all by yourself. So, you know, we're not growing because we think it should be all about us. And we forget about the team that we should have behind us, whether it's a wife and her husband, whether it's, you know, the family and the kids, whatever it may be, business, family, friends, relationships. We forget about the team and we start thinking about ourselves because we are programmed to only think about self and not see the bigger picture, which is the team, you know, and no one can be successful alone.
Right. And you know, this, like I was a part of an organization. It was a music company. And one of the things that the owner used to always say to all of us, I'm a self-made millionaire. I'm a self-made millionaire. I used to just look back like nobody made it by themselves. And I'm gonna just keep it real with you. You know, he was into real estate where he was able to sell homes to a whole bunch of, and I'll just say it, a whole bunch of white people, you know what I mean? And then when he decided to get into music, these very same white people had decided to take money out of their homes, you know what I'm saying, to invest into his company. But he would present himself to us like, you know, he's this self-made millionaire. It's like, no, you're not. You didn't get to where you are by yourself. Somebody helped you. Somebody did something. Somebody made a decision, you know what I'm saying, that allowed you to get to this point. You know what I mean? The job if you work at McDonald's, somebody gave you that job. So you can go home and, you know, try to on your you can go home and try to, you know, boo-boo on your sister, on your cousin, because you're ready to get up out of her crib and y'all into it or whatever. But at the end of the day, somebody still gave you that opportunity. So, and it's like people lose their humility and stuff like that. So my thing is, commit to yourself, set goals, set objectives, pursue them, but guard your heart. Don't pursue stuff with the wrong attitude, or because you mad at how things are done, or now you want to do something new. I don't like the way this was done, so I'm gonna do it new, and I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna commit to me, and I'm gonna be all about me. That's the wrong attitude. You cursing your own vision. You're cursing your own purpose. Whatever it is that you've been placed on this earth to do, when you operate in the wrong attitude, that means now you have the wrong atmosphere that's hovering over everything that you touch. It looked like there's success. It looked like something is growing, but there's something in the root that's going to cause this thing to just die on you because you got the wrong attitude, nasty attitude. I'll say this. I say this all the time. You know, if you got a big house in a nice community, everybody got big houses in your community, it's a gated community, regardless of how beautiful your house is, regardless of how hard you work to build that house, if all your neighbors know you as a nasty individual, they not gonna wanna stop somebody from breaking in your house. They ain't gonna care nothing about your crib. If they do call the police, if they do stop, it ain't because somebody broke into your house. It's because they're concerned about the rest of the neighborhood. Well, if we let this happen to your house, even though we don't like you, if we let this happen to your house, who's to say that same criminal won't come back and start breaking into everybody's houses because they're going to think that the community is sweet and can do so. But my whole point is that nasty attitude, people going to want bad stuff to happen to you. You know, they can't wait to your car break down. They can't wait till whatever company you work for crashes and everybody get laid off. They can't wait for that kind of stuff because you got a nasty attitude and you never invested time into securing the community around you. You know, if you live in a community, you know, you cool with your house, but y'all need to pitch in to build a gate around the whole community to protect the whole community. So anyway, that's the whole point, you know. Yeah, definitely be committed to yourself, pursue your goals. Don't let nobody stop you, but also don't let yourself be stagnated by your own attitude, which because you think we're well within our rights to have these attitudes because of our experiences. People have treated us nasty. People have hurt us, or we've seen people before us fail, and we just want to do better. But always approach it in a positive position.
I agree. And on that note, all I have to say is stay ambitious, stay prayed up, stay with personal development, and to thine own self be true.
Amen.